Okay, let's start with the steady flow energy equation. Okay, first we define what is meant by steady flow. Okay, if we see the different numericals on the non-flow process, non-flow and the flow. Okay, the non-flow process means there is a mass is always utilized the same again and again. This mass it doesn't crosses the boundary of the system. If we solve all the numericals, we apply the first law for the non-flow process. Okay, the mass is within the boundary. The mass it doesn't crosses the boundary of the system. Okay, now we see the numerical where the mass is also crosses the boundary of the system. With mass there we know that energy is also transfer. This is the law of conservation of energy. We include here the law of conservation of mass. What amount of mass in there is what amount of mass is out is the always same. Now we discuss all the numerical or the different application for the flow process. Still that we applying for non-flow, the same mass is used again and again, like that where mass is also crosses the boundary of the system, including heat and work. Okay, in previous numerical there is also transfer of heat and work is there. Okay, but including here we added the mass is also crosses the boundary of the system. There is only change. The now we call as a steady flow energy equation. Why it's called as a steady flow? Because we define the first steady flow. The rate of fluid flow through a machine is constant. The fluid flow rate through the machine is a constant. Then this type of flow is known as steady flow. The word it means the steady flow. The flow rate is constant throughout the system. Okay, assume the flow through system as shown in figure. During a small time interval dt, there occurs a flow of mass and energy into fixed control entry is at point 1 and exit at point 2. There is a entry point 1 and the exit point is a 2 and the flow rate is a steady. Okay, there are some assumptions before solving the derivation on the steady flow energy equation. I assuming that the following points are taken into consideration. First, there is only internal energy, kinetic energy, potential energy, kinetic and potential energy, flow work, and heat and mechanical work which cross the control value. Okay, only these four parameters I am going to consider while deriving or while considering the energy interactions, because of sake of simplifications, and these are the only main energies I am going to consider. Okay, while we take applications, okay, so we can get the idea where to apply the steady flow energy equations. Okay, these are some assumptions for the steady flow. Okay, suppose some system is flowing some velocity v1 and the exit at velocity v2. Okay, there is some initial pressure, some specific volume, velocity v1. Okay, like that, temperature T1, the different parameters like I am denoted at suffix 1. Okay, the some inlet is mounted, that Z1 is now we consider is height. This is the height, the datum from datum the inlet height, and Z2 is outlet height. Okay, at outlet there is a drop in some maybe drop or increase in pressure, drop in or maybe increase in temperature, whatever it may be. It depends on where the mass of fluid, mass flow from which system is carried out. Okay, they will take the example of turbine. Okay, we design the turbine area like that. When mass flow over the system, we get some output. Okay, in case of turbine, I am going to apply heat and we get work done. Okay, that is we get the shaft work. If we take the example of turbine and the mass flow over the inside the system, this is called as a control volume, and the boundary of control volume is called as a control surface. If we take every open system, okay, these two terms are very important, control volume and control surface. Then and then we can get proper work, or then and then we can get proper heat from that system. When we mass steam, whenever we flow, we can't get any kind of work. But that steam when flows through the particular designed or developed system. So what is the definition of system? I also discussed in first lecture. okay, a definite area or definite volume where some interactions are carried out, and that definite area is the for turbine is the control volume. Then and then we can get some kind of work when we steam flow over any kind of open system or anywhere we can't get when particular volume, which volume we design, this called as a control volume where we control that volume. So it is word control volume, and the boundary of the control volume is a control surface. At inlet, different parameters, whatever it may be, there will be suffix 1, and at outlet, the different parameter is the suffix 2. Now we're going to see the derivation now. Derivation is very simple, only hardly 4 to 5 lines derivation, but it's very important derivations. Hopes you understood this derivation. See what are the derivation. Okay, from the law of conservation of energy, energy neither be created nor be destroyed. Okay, okay, there is a system. Okay, in the system, what amount of energy be supplied in? Okay, that much amount of energy transfer one form to another, as well as it follows the law of conservation of mass. Okay, where mass as inlet is equal to mass at outlet. Now the C, the total energy flow rate into the control volume is equal to total energy flow rate at outlet. So energy at inlet is equal to energy at outlet. This simply energy at input is equal to energy at output. There is the balance of energy. There is a transformation of energy. So which kind of energy at inlet is very important? I'm going to highlight energy carried out into the system plus flow work and the rate of heat flow, okay, is equal to I'm going to change color because you can highlight the difference between inlet and outlet. Okay, see now, the energy at inlet, energy carried into the system, okay, which may be internal energy plus potential energy and kinetic energy. Okay, when some kind of fluid flow through the any system, it energy gets in that fluid because of, suppose there is one hydroelectric power plant, okay, the energy enter or energy added in the water because of it's a potential energy, because of its a height the water can get one kind of energy. Okay, so energy at inlet may be because of its internal energy, maybe because of its potential energy, maybe because of its kinetic energy. I'm going to derive the general relation plus flow work. What is the concept of flow work is very important. See here, flow work. I'm going to discuss here the concept of flow work. Suppose there is one pipe, okay, and there is one mass of certain mass of fluid is there, okay, mass of fluid I assume, and there is some force is need, okay, so that mass of unit mass of fluid pushes the next mass of fluid, that next mass of fluid pushes the next mass of fluid. So it is a flow work, means there is a continuity in flow because of back force pushes the next force, like that it continuity in that fluid. Okay, if you see the flow, pipe flow, water flow in the pipe, what happened, that some unit mass of water pushes the next unit mass of water, like that. This is the kind of flow work. Okay, this simply derived from, you know, the relation pressure is equal to, okay, force upon area. So force is equal to pressure into area, okay, and that area, okay, pushes the unit mass. Suppose their unit length, okay, is considered AL, and that area into L is nothing but volume. So PV is the our flow work, pressure into volume. Just we simply, we need one kind of push force, okay, that pushes the flow continuously in the system. that push force is called as a flow work. In simple words, is also needed, and the heat inlet, we assume that now supplying heat. Some cases you supplying work and we get heat. First I assume initially supplying heat. We take example in front of you, turbine. Okay, we take example of turbine where we added Q and we get W. General we going to derive general steady flow energy equation. So we assume energy at inlet because of such internal energy, because of potential kinetic energy, we need some force work, that is a flow work. Okay, and we need heat to add in the system. Okay, when the system start to change its state because of when system under process, either we, and that system under process because of either we supplying Q or W, where I assume we either added Q. So outlet there is only change. So the parameter like a 2 2 2, like internal energy change, potential energy change, change in kinetic energy, like that, change in flow work, and that Q is converted into outlet W. So it heat and work are mutually convertible, which follows the first law of thermodynamics. Okay, just put the values here now. It's very simple, only 4 to 5 lines. Internal energy U1, potential energy GZ1. I'm putting common mass at outside the bracket, keeping mass outside the bracket. So internal energy Mu mgz, where height for z, and V1 square by 2, that is the kinetic energy. So flow work M into P1 and the heat. Similarly at outlet, the change, what it may be change. At the outlet, they drop in pressure, maybe rise in pressure, rise in temperature, maybe increase or decrease in velocity, like that. The change in flow work and the work. This is the general steady flow energy equation. Now going to update here. Arranging the equation such that keeping the mass common from these two terms, so we get P1 V1. So modified equation now U1 plus P1 V1, potential energy V1 square by 2 plus Q, like that. Similarly for outlet, but we know that we see this formula also. If we observe the while deriving the equation of the flow process, non-flow process, enthalpy is the algebraic sum of, you know, the internal energy plus flow work, that is the enthalpy. So that formula I am going to update like that. The H1 is a change in enthalpy at inlet, and similarly for outlet, if we see the change in enthalpy at outlet, there is only change. So we get the final steady flow energy equation. Note down this equation for unit mass, this relation for unit mass. This is the steady flow energy equation. If mass is given in exam, we just multiply by m here. This is the steady flow energy equation. It's the very simple equation. Just remember H1 plus GZ1 plus V1 square by 2 plus Q, and the only change, that is the H2, change in potential energy, change in kinetic energy. This is the equation. If we also modify, if we put all the terms like that, we can get the energy like Q when I keeping this at W, when what we get H2 minus H1 plus Z2 minus Z1 plus V2 square minus V1 square divided by 2. So what it indicates? The change in enthalpy. What it indicates? The change in potential energy, delta P. And what it indicates? The change in kinetic energy. This is the general gas equation, steady flow energy equation. We need this equation for solving the numerical. Just remember to take the screenshot of this formula. While from next lecture we start the numerical. Hopes you understood this relation. This formula is very important.